One of the best bits of advice that I read when I first had children, I read lots of things on the internet from other people who'd had children and were continuing a full-time job. And the best bit of advice I read, the only one that I actually remember, is lower the bar. Lower the bar, and that means you don't have to provide your family a fantastic meal every night. You don't have to clean all the time. You don't have to clean up after them if you don't want to. The most important thing is that you're just there for them when they need it, and you're spending the time with them that you feel is needed. And the other things can wait, especially when they're young. You can't possibly get all this stuff done as well as spending quality time with the kids, and you don't have that much quality time, right, because you're working as well. And so over time you get better at juggling these things, and the kids get older and they're doing more things as well, so it gets better. But I think just lowering the bar and not expecting yourself to be superwoman at home and just do what you feel you need to do with spending time with the kids is the most important thing.
So prioritise in some senses is what you're saying.
Yeah. So I prioritise the kids and spending time with them above and over cleaning and cooking.
Yeah.
And it was fine. And then at work, I read a lot of things about time management, and I became very good at managing my time effectively so that I felt comfortable with the amount of work I was getting done.
I think you do need to put the hours in to be successful. It is, you've got to work hard at it. But equally, I think you need to set some boundaries, because the challenge is that it's always there. Yeah. And there's always international colleagues who are awake, and there's always something going on. Yeah. And so you need to be able to work very productively in the time that you do have, and focus your time on achieving. There's always things to do as well. So on achieving the things that matter most. And then make sure that there is some downtime as well.
So putting back clear boundaries around that.
Yeah, around some time. And perhaps being flexible on where that is and what it looks like, but making sure there's some of that in there.
Yeah.
These days I read emails, but I never answer them on the weekend.
Oh, okay. That's a good tip.
You just know what's happening and you just put away.
Yeah.
Because I find there's, as we know, the time is in the writing.
Yeah.
It doesn't take very long to read an email.
And then they respond though too.
And then they respond, and then there's that correspondence, right?
Yeah,
so it just kickstarts a whole lot of things. So if I can help it, I mean, unless it's really super, super urgent, but I try not to.
So you're just sort of checking there's no big problem almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so I won't, and I'll wait till Monday.
Yeah.
And anyway, that's great, because you don't want to fill your whole head with it, but on the other hand, it does give you opportunity to think about how you might respond if there's a particularly difficult issue.
I don't have a social life, really.
Okay.
Basically, my social life is the occasional Friday afternoon when I gather the team and we have a debrief and some food and drink, and that's my social life. And that's because, I have a young daughter. And so to make sure that I feel that I'm not neglecting anybody, I don't have one. Occasionally I go out, but not very often, and I try to be in bed by 9:30. I think I once read a really interesting account of how people have, how much people can fit in their lives. And one version is that you can have like 3 things maybe. So you can have your work and family and your social life. And more than that, you can't quite fit it in. But I think in some cases, like mine, you just have to get rid of the social life. Which doesn't mean you get rid of your friends. You've got to have your friends. And I try to kind of catch up with people. But the idea that I would have, and I know this doesn't fit with current work-life balance sort of approaches to things, but I love what I do. Yeah. I love my work and I love my family life, my daughter. So, I'm fine. Yeah. And I do feel I have good friends and I try to see them, but I don't go out as often probably as most people.